I don't know. I don't know. A movie came up, and I thought it was going to be a Christian movie. It was a sports movie. I looked at the details, and it had a lot of stuff that I think about, or stuff, just stuff. It was a bad movie, like, but, and I kept on praying. I'm like, God, can I, like, I don't want to be watching this. It has things that things in it, but I don't know if this was God, but the feeling that I got was keep on watching. I had to cover my ears, turn away for a lot of it, and then other stuff I just pretend, make whatever, try not to take it in or whatever. But anyways, not that I'm rationalizing. Last time I watched a movie, I was like, I should not have watched that, but I thought, oh, I don't know if there's gonna be something, and it was actually on a whatever, and but anyways, and it covered this, the stuff, and Jews would. Because something I think about first of all is like mental illness, and it's this guy who's like has this brother and struggling with mental illness and stuff, and I'm like, oh, maybe this will inspire me of something. I don't know. But all it did was just show how bad Jews are. I'm trying to proselytize to a Jewish rabbi who literally blasphemes God just to not believe in Jesus. Like, I point him to the scriptures that point to Jesus, and he's like, we don't actually believe in those scriptures, basically is what he said. And then other stuff, and just the ridiculous things that guy said. And then I watched this, and this Jewish mother literally went to a psychic, the devil himself, to have her pray over her son. And you know what happens? Her son uses all the pills he's prescribed to kill himself. And then you got a daughter off in California smoking weed and is depressed and eventually gets involved in like homosexuality and non-monogamous things and tries to do weird stuff. And then she kills herself. Not to mention, the other thing is, anyways, I won't mention. Because it's like, my idea is, one, ban all drugs, first of all, but we obviously, whatever. And nothing. But one of the things I think going into it is like, at least with, the atheists, maybe, ban all the drugs, it's like maybe they'll turn to God. But this mother freaking Jew, first of all, supposedly believe in God. This freaking rabbi I'm talking to doesn't even believe in the Jewish God. Well, he's like, oh, I'm going to celebrate Shabbat and not trim my beard, and I'm going to fast on the 10th day of Ashaviv or whatever the heck. And it's like they still will not turn to Christ. God forbid, they'll literally go talk to a demon-talking worshiper before they talk to a Christian. And still, and you don't understand, I don't... Like, whether you turn to God, all those stuff is still not the way to go. Because first of all, I went to this class and I talked to this person, and he's also against pretty much medication as well. But his more thing is, oh, you just eat healthy, body fights itself. Stuff like that. And I have thought about that. I don't drink tea. Coffee's most likely the devil, to be honest. And tea, whatever, but I don't want to take something that's just going to more or less help me. I want to rely on God. That's the decision that I made. And I think that is one reason people don't see healing, is because you need to make the Lord your refuge. You don't run to a cup of coffee or tea or a bottle of Coke and whatever. And I started pondering, I'm like, I know I don't want drugs. That is literally way not God. But it's like this food idea, because there's also other things I've thought about. Could I somehow help repair my brain from whatever damage has been done to that if I would just eat better? Maybe, I don't know. That's one of the things that I'm kind of almost getting at. Because first off, when I started actually thinking, oh, maybe this guy has a point. He's against drugs, but he's like, oh, food, it'll help, just your body help fight. Anything that does happen to you, your body will fight it. Or some, other stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, maybe. But then God actually, I don't know what word I would use to describe it. But, I started actually feeling like almost a sickness coming on, or my throat or something. And I'm like, what is going on? What did I do? I can't think of anything I've really done that goes against my conscience or something, other than that thing which used to go against my conscience, eating food to somehow get better. Because that's the thing, is God can prevent you from ever getting sick. There's the people who can eat fast food every day, all day for the rest of their life. There's the people who smoke and never get cancer. For whatever reason, God can protect someone, who he does, who he doesn't. But there is certain things in Scripture that you can point to that will get you that help. And I actually started thinking, you know what, man, maybe this food thing is something. And then I get sick and I'm like, whoa. And I actually have to decide to, okay, this one, it's not for me. That's not the way God seems to want me to think. Is that you can, if you do get sick, it's like, oh, just eat this or eat that, which not necessarily wrong. But the thing is, you don't even have to even get to that point. And even if you did, we'll see. Or I guess it was more so eat right and you won't, and then that won't get help. I don't know what all this stuff. I'm still kind of thinking of it. What actually would be okay, but at least that part is it's not okay. God allowed you to get that thing. So why did he? Address that, ask for healing, pray, healed, miracle, done deal. But that also is the thing. Because you go to these freaking doctors and they prescribe these meds that you can now actually use to kill yourself. As we saw in this movie. Or a lot of people actually say a proper diet actually will help that. Some people think what you eat actually can't even make you psychotic. People come at me and they're like, oh, Timothy, he drank wine, we can take meds or do this or that. It's like, first of all, the reason Timothy was allowed to, quote, drink wine, which we don't, anyways, is because something that he was ingesting was hurting him. So that could be, I don't know how much you want to get into that I don't really want to get too much into that. Because once again, there are other people who can literally eat anything. Nothing happens to them. Who God protects, who he doesn't. To be safe, you trust in God. He's your refuge. He's the first place you go. You address sin and you're good. I mainly just wanted, I don't know what I wanted to make this about. Before 60, 70 years ago, we had none of this stuff. So first off, you believe in the Bible, there had to be some other way. Whether it's, I don't know, an herb. I'll tell you what. I don't know what I'll tell you. In the Bible, Jews who even realized that Jesus, or there was power in Jesus, they're like, we're not going to believe in Jesus, but we understand that there's something happening. And they try to use Jesus' name to cast out a devil. They tried to use Jesus' name to cast out a devil, and that devil completely tore them to shreds. They're like, who the heck are you? Who are you? I know Paul. I know this Jesus, but who are you? Tore him to shreds. Rain him out. Even back then, it wasn't even, they were like, they even tried to use Christ, except they wouldn't even believe in him. I heard one the other day. Someone was like, hey, I need you to pray for me. And the person was like, you don't even believe in God. Or whatever. And she's like, no, but I know this is going to work. His yoke is easy. Oh, it's not for me. It's not. His yoke is easy. And you know what? That's what's wrong with Mexico. Because you can be content with nothing. You want your movies, your TV, your porn, sex. And you know what it is? Marijuana? Biden was goddamn demonic when I heard he wanted to lessen stuff about marijuana. Oh, what's wrong with it? It makes everything better. What? So you can watch your porn and have your sex? Listen to your ungodly music and videos? What does it make better? It is a counterfeit. You don't want God?